All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to take a huge step back from the code, from the individual features, and look at the entire world our applications live in. We're going to map out the whole telecom ecosystem because honestly, knowing this landscape, that's what separates a good tester from a truly great one.
So let me start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we've all had. You're hunting down a bug that just makes zero sense. The problem is showing up in your system, sure, but the actual cause? It's nowhere in your code. It's one of the most frustrating things about our job, isn't it?
And there's a really good reason for that frustration. It all boils down to one simple thing. When you only focus on your own application, you create these massive blind spots. And in the super connected world of telecom, that kind of tunnel vision, it's not just a small problem, it's a huge liability.
So yeah, this brings us to the main problem we're going to tackle, the tester's blind spot. See, your real value, your superpower as a tester, isn't just finding bugs inside your application's little box. It's about seeing and understanding everything that's happening just outside of it.
Okay, so how do we get rid of these blind spots? Well, we need a map, and that map is the hidden telecom ecosystem. Understanding this bigger picture is the key. It's how you're finally going to solve those impossible bugs and see how everything really truly fits together. So what is this thing exactly? Well, at its heart, the telecom ecosystem is just the entire network of companies, all the different systems, and all the people that have to work together perfectly. It's like a massive team sport, all just to get one single service to one single customer.
And wow, what a crowded field it is. You've got your main service providers, the vendors who are building the actual physical network, the super important OSS and BSS software systems, the brains of the operation. Then you've got integrators stitching it all together, regulators setting the rules, and of course us, the customers, at the very end of the line. So let's actually meet these key players. We're going to take a quick tour through this whole ecosystem. For each one, we'll look at what they do and, most importantly, why you as a tester should really care.
First up, the most obvious players, communication service providers, or CSPs. Yeah, these are the companies you think of as the phone company or my internet provider. They are right there on the front lines, dealing directly with customers every single day. CSPs are basically the center of this entire universe. They own the networks, they manage every single customer relationship, and every bill that goes out. And, this is critical, they are the ones who define the business rules that your software is built to follow.
Now, here's the real insight for us as testers. When you're testing for a CSP, you're not just testing code, not at all. You're directly testing their business rules. You're testing their revenue streams. You're testing their customers' entire experience. Your work directly impacts their bottom line.
And to really get a CSP, you have to understand the two halves of its brain, OSS and BSS. So think of it this way. Operations Support Systems, or OSS, that's the stuff that keeps the network itself up and running. It's handling faults, performance, all the physical gear. Then you have Business Support Systems, BSS, which keeps the business running. This is all about the customers, the orders, and the money.
So here's the kicker for us. While OSS is obviously vital, the bugs that cost the most money and make customers the angriest, they almost always live on the BSS side. We're talking failed orders, bills that are just plain wrong, charges that go missing. This is where the business logic gets super complex, and it's where mistakes cost real money, fast.
And of course, there's a whole supporting cast. You've got network vendors building the physical hardware, and get this, their glitches can look exactly like bugs in your software. System integrators are like the glue, connecting all these different systems that were never designed to talk to each other. And regulators, they're the ones creating those mandatory rules that explain why some features seem so incredibly complicated. It's because they legally have to be that way.
Okay, so now let's connect all these dots. We've met the individual players, so let's see how they actually play together in a real-world situation. This is where that big picture view really starts to come alive. Let's just follow a simple customer journey. It all kicks off with a request. Right away, the BSS systems jump in to check it out and create an order. Now pay attention. Here's the first critical handoff. That order gets passed over to OSS, which then tells the network what it needs to do. The network hardware lights up the service. Then, as that service gets used, the data flows all the way back to BSS for billing. A single failure at any one of these handoffs can break the entire chain.
So this brings us to the real payoff. From tester to expert, how does knowing all this stuff actually change your day-to-day and make you way more effective at your job?
The first and maybe most immediate benefit, you will find root causes so much faster. I mean, dramatically faster. Instead of being stuck inside your own application, you'll start asking the right questions, like, could this be a data problem coming from the BSS order system? Or maybe it's a network thing on the OS side. Second, you're going to design way better integration tests. You can start creating scenarios that actually copy that real end-to-end customer journey, and you can specifically target those handoffs between BSS, OSS, and the network. That's where the riskiest, most valuable bugs are almost always hiding.
And third, you'll communicate with so much more confidence. When you file a defect, you're no longer just saying, this screen is broken. You can now say, the billing calculation is failing during the BSS to OSS data sync, and it's affecting all of our enterprise customers. Now that gets people's attention.
And this, right here, gets to the absolute heart of it. This is how you move from just executing test cases to having true expertise. You stop being someone who just follows a script and become a strategic expert who actually understands the entire business from start to finish.
So let's wrap this up with your new testing mindset. It's time to take this big picture view and start applying it to your work, like today. The very next time you pick up a test case, I want you to just pause for a second and ask yourself, do I actually know which system owns this feature? Who is really going to be affected if this thing fails?
And really, this all boils down to one final question that I hope reframes your entire role. Are you just testing an application? Or are you a guardian of the entire customer experience? Because thinking that way, well, it changes everything.